You're watching Nappicast by Jason Nappy Weather. Enjoy the warmer weather today, sun mixed with clouds. We get into a stormier pattern by late week into the weekend. Yet again, I'll break down the weather highway traffic jam that's coming our way in the forecast. Let's talk about cloud cover and sun mixed right now. You see that here going on. A lot of clearing going on in southern New England, northern New England, but in Maine, you've got a mixture of clouds and sunshine here with this flow coming down from the northwest right now around the ridge that's off to our west. So we're going to have a mixture of sun and clouds today. It won't be a completely overcast day in Maine, but a lot of sunshine in New York, Hartford, Providence, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, seeing a lot in the way of sunshine right now. You see that there. I want to talk about something. This is the weather highway traffic jam, okay? So I want to show you this in more detail here. This is basically the weather highway. You go up 25,000 feet up in the sky. I want to take you into late this weekend into next week here. Okay, so you're going to have this low just dip here on the weather highway. See this area of low pressure here is your low pressure system here, and then you get your omega block. Another weather highway traffic jam that gets all spun up here and blocked off, okay? So this is not overly typical for this time of the year. We don't typically see this much in the way of blocking patterns that we've seen, but that's what's going to be happening long term. So I want to show you Bangor, Maine, 60s to 70s here, and there's the trough that comes in, right? So 40s for highs mid-May in Bangor, and then we kind of balance out just a little bit late week. But you think that's bad, right? It gets a lot worse. Look at this. How about in Portland? Anytime we talk about onshore flow here. So southwesterly breeze today, onshore flow, and then here comes the trough, weather highway traffic jam, onshore flow. That's an east wind or a southeast wind, right? So much cooler in Portland, Maine. How about this spot? You think that was bad? It gets worse. Look at Boston. Southwesterly breeze, and then look at the onshore flow here. Highs struggle to get to the low 50s in Boston, and that's for days, several days, right? So that is the pattern going forward. Shower activity, none today, none tomorrow, and then here come the showers from an upper level low to our south. That kind of falls apart, and then the bigger batch of moisture gets here for Sunday. Okay, you see that heavy rain, Casco Bay, mid-coast of Maine, you see all this heavy rain here, okay, and also back towards the southwest interior western mountains. That is going to be Sunday. Now, still not an all-day washout, but Sunday looks to be the heaviest as far as the rainfall goes. So here's your upper level low. Once again, here's the system. Here's the storm on the weather highway that's going to nosedive for the weekend. Here it goes. I'll put the map into motion and watch this thing nosedive. That goes on top of us. It gets cut off. And then here is that omega block that I just showed you, right? Here's your omega block again. Here's your upper level low. Here's your upper level low. Here's your high pressure. This is your traffic jam on the weather highway. Okay, and that's why it's going to be on the chilly side in the west coast, and the chilly side east coast, and very warm with that squeeze going on in the heartland. Okay, so you can go to jasonnappyweather.com. I have weather blogs up on this all the time, every day. But there it is, a satellite picture. You see here, here's an upper level low. Here's all the moisture that's been coming to the southeast, several inches of rain. Here's the clearing around the ridge, and then here's the cloud cover. Eventually, we'll get into some more of a, call it a mixture of clouds and sunshine, and then clouds and stars and a full moon tonight, okay, in the forecast. So let's go ahead and take a look at the forecast now in more detail. I want to zoom into my loyal followers in Maine and show you the forecast going forward. You've got a mixture of clouds and sun in Portland, Lewis and Auburn, clouds, Eastport, clouds, Bangor, a lot of clouds, Caribou, a lot of clouds. We are on the warmer side with that southwesterly breeze. Showers return late week. No washouts, so that's the positive, right? So unlike what we had a couple of days ago, not going to see just full-on washouts. There will be passing showers and even some thunderstorms, and also higher humidity in the forecast coming too. I'll talk about that in more detail with that wind out of the southwest. So here's the forecast the next 10 days. Mountains around 70 today, partly cloudy. 76, we warm up with that wind out of the south. Wednesday, Thursday for the mountains. And then here comes the upper level low, traffic jam, weather highway, 50s for highs, weekend to next week. Inland, it is 70s, wind out of the south. Away from the coast, you're mid 70s, and then the bottom falls out, 50s with showers back in the forecast. And even a few thunderstorms, which I'll talk about in more detail in a couple of days. For the coastline today, it's in the 70s, just barely 70, and then it's onshore flow, so 50s, and we're lucky to see 60s. And you see mid-50s for the weekend into next week with that onshore flow continuing. You can go to Nappicast.com and JasonNappyWeather.com for the latest.